Hi everyone, I am really excited to introduce you to Leapysource, a new app that I have been working on that helps you move between Asian language scripts and Roman transliteration styles, and also translate text into multiple languages using time-honored dictionaries supercharged by AI. So let's get started. How do you use it? Well, you can do it in one of several ways. You can actually start by clicking the language that you're interested in here, like let's say Bangla. And then what you can either do is drag or drop a file, upload a file, or take a picture with your phone. I'm currently trying to get voice in development, but it still has some issues, but I'll let you know when that's working well. So let's say I want to try, I already have the input kind of set up on my laptop, and then I can say like this, Apni Kamon Atsen, okay? And then I click transliterate down here. And you'll see that most platforms like let's say Google Translate or kind of, different AI chat bots and models, they will go directly to the translation. But there's also a middle phase that's really important to understand, and that is the transliteration. I mean, how many times have you ever wanted to look at a text, you didn't understand the script, but there's a translation available, but how do you get from the script, from the letters, from the words to the translation? Well, that's a complex process of understanding the words and the scripts as they are. And so that's what this tool kind of helps you do first, to understand the actual words of what you are looking at. So Apni Kamonatsan is how are you in the formal register in Bangla. And so now I see that it's been transliterated into ISO 15919 format. You can also go down to NLK, the National Library of India in Kolkata, their romanization standard. I have also added one with the no final schwa, so that what that means is that you won't have the inherent vowel after kamon if you sort of take it that way. And then what you can do here is you can also transliterate it into other Asian scripts. So let's say you have your Bangla here, but you don't read the Bangla script for whatever reason, but you might read another Indic script. Then what you can do is actually, in other Asian scripts as well, you can actually go here and you can click a different script that you can use to transliterate it into. And so I'm still sort of, adding and updating all of the other scripts. Let's say you wanted to sort of render it in Tamil, then it will transliterate it in Tamil as Apni Kamon Atsen. So, really interesting, a lot of kind of use cases there that you could kind of find. And you can also, in addition to these Asian scripts, you can do Roman script, popular online, which I've added, which really is closer to how people are communicating on, social media and, online websites. If they're not typing the script and so on, you can read it like this without any diacritical marks and be still perfectly understood. Now, once you've clicked transliterate, which requires 1 token, and everyone who just goes to the site, you get 10 tokens free. I had to put a cap on it because for the AI models to sort of generate back the response, it charges me money. So, I sort of pass that on to people who will use it. But you click transliterate here, and what you can do, and also zoom in, zoom out, copy, and download. Now, where the sound kind of does work a little better sometimes is if you do lookup words. And so let's say I go to ISO 15919 again, and then I click lookup words. So then what it's going to do is enable me to click each individual word. And what I can do here, you see the apni, it means you, honorific polite form, the part of speech, and it will link me to the dictionary. So what I did, most AI models, they kind of are very opaque, and vague in terms of what sources that they're using. What I've done in this app is make sure that when I click look up words and look at the translation, which I'll get to in a second, that it's using on the back end a variety of digital resources and physical or PDF, online ebooks that I am uploading on the back end that then is informing these words and so on. And so that enables the lookup and the translation to be much more precise. And I'm continually updating those as well. So if you have any other resources that you would like to see and you're interested, then feel free to suggest those to me, and I'll get those uploaded, and it'll help inform the transliteration overall. So let's say this is apni, which means you. Then you can press this little play button here.
Apni.
Apni, okay, and it'll play it for you. It's much more accurate than playing the whole thing together at this time, is each individual word. And so then what you can do then as well, you see that it automatically generated kind of a simple translation based on these dictionary insights. And if you just want to deal with transliteration, you just don't even want to think about translation, you can always just turn that off by this toggle here. But if you click translation, then what you can do is also do an annotated translation, and you can also change it into many modern languages, and this is already freely included with the token that you used to transliterate. So let's say you want to know what it is in German. Okay, what is Apni Kamonachen in German? Okay, wie geht es Ihnen? Or let's say you want to do Spanish here. Then you have it right at your fingertips. ¿Cómo está usted? So then you can, work with that too. And let's say you want to dig deeper into the translation. You can spend 3 more tokens, and this is really useful, not for like a short phrase like this, but for a longer passage. And I'll show you that in a second, how that works. Now, what if we want to do sort of a longer passage and understand that? So what you can do is either drag and drop from your folder, or you can click Upload File here. And then what you do is you select the file that you want to use. It works a little bit best with screenshots, and with screenshots you can on Mac do Command-Shift-5 and then select your screen. There's also a shortcut on Windows that I'll add below. So here's my little screenshot right here, the Hindi, that I'm going to upload. I click Open. The file will process for a few seconds, and then you see there, boom, it's right there in the Devanagari script, ready for you to use. Now, once you click Transliterate as well, you can also click Look Up Words to look up individual words on the script as well. But what you want to do too, if you're transliterating multiple types of scripts, is you want to make sure that it's either on auto detect when you upload the file, or that you select the correct language that you're working with. That will just kind of help it process a little better. Click Transliterate right here, and then you'll see, boom, transliterated output here. Ya Paramanandam, Ya Paradparam, Ya Paramasakshi, Ya Paramatmikam, Itadi, right? And so on. And so then you can, from now, you can also change this into different romanizations, different sort of scripts. You can also click Look Up Words at this point here as well, either on the Devanagari, because you've used a token. The Look Up Words uses a little more compute power. So you can look here, and what it will do is look up this word for you. You click on it or tap it, depending on what device you're looking at, and then it will give you the word, it will give you the transliteration, it will give you some meanings and some sources as well to use and to link to. And again, I'm adding to these, and you can also hear it.
Paramsakshi.
Paramsakshi, okay, so interesting. And then you can go here as well and do the same thing if you click up Look Up Words with the transliteration of each. And so with this, you can click it, and it'll have sometimes it won't be able to find the word for whatever reason, but usually if you click on it or tap it a few times, it will link back to something that will work really well for you. And so then, and again, with longer passages as well, you can transliterate the whole thing into a different Asian script, depending on what you're working with. And then you can go down here to the translation. And so, here we have Spanish. Let's plug it back into English. The translation will give you a translation basically of that, and also give you some textual references that will relate to these passages. And for that, I'm grateful under the reference sources. If we go here, you can see that there are these different references, and there's also this freely available Sanskrit database by Oliver Helvig, Digital Corpus of Sanskrit, and so I'm grateful to him for making this available, as well as to Sebastian Nerdich for his work on Dharma Mitra, which is also sort of looking at these Sanskrit sort of textual references and intertextuality and so on, and applying that to AI. And so, to go back to our example here, let's upload the file, or again, I could drag and drop it if I wanted to, but for this particular case, let's just go down and input it again. So here it's processed. Okay, so now it says I used up all my free tokens. Oh no, so I need to get some more tokens. So what you can do here is sign in. And so Google sign in is currently in process. The verification is underway. But for now, if you don't have an account, you can sign up and you get 20 Leapy tokens just for signing up. For me, I'm not going to do that because I have a account already here. So I click sign in, boom. And so then you can see I have my tokens up here. I have my user with my subscription and so on. And you can also buy more tokens here. So if you're just a free user, I tried to make it as accessible as possible. You can, a starter pack is just 99 cents with 40 tokens, or you can get a pro pack with 600 tokens. That would really go a long way. So what you can do here, once you click transliterate and use one token, again, this whole process takes one token except for the annotated translation, is, you wait for this to transliterate. You can click look up words or not. We already went into that. And then what you can do is also go to translation here and use 3 extra tokens to give an annotated translation. And again, I'm perfecting this as well, so it's still in a very kind of rudimentary phase. But this particular aspect and feature, I think, can be very useful to connecting, modern languages and scripts to earlier sort of foundations and so on in classical and ancient languages. And while that's running, I do want to emphasize as well that you can also snap, if you don't like taking a snapshot on your device, your laptop or your iPad, then what you can do is you can actually use a camera to select a photo as well. If you're on your phone, the camera will generate a sort of, the camera app on your phone, and you'll be able to snap a photo that way. So here we have annotations, and there's also a regenerate button if you don't like this particular translation. But with this, you're going to get a much more literal translation. But what you can do, the advantage of this one, is that you can click sort of, different words. So let's say I want to click Parameshvara. I click this here. It'll tell me the transliteration according to the above, the original script. And then what I can do here is click View Detailed Explanation. And what it will do here is show me the sort of translation, transliteration, and original. And then what it will also show me is explanation and context. It's a compound of Parama plus Ishvara, and then it will also give a textual reference, Shveta Shvatara Upanishad 6.7, which describes the one God as Ishvara. So this can be kind of an interesting use for you. And again, it does that with every word. So let's say you want to say, you want to see the full scope of it. You can download a PDF and it will give you a generated PDF, annotated translation, but you can scroll down and kind of each of the words here are, showing kind of what the translation was actually translating. So no more nebulous kind of, direct Google Translate, AI without sources. So now you can get really an annotation direct to your screen in a short amount of time and all in one interface, right? You don't have to deal with, asking the chatbot the right prompts, or anything like that. And so here you get that. And again, I'm increasing this and registering this with other sources in the references and, trying to add in more grammatical, features. And what I've been doing is creating online references and grammar rules and trading it with e-texts and so on. And I hope to add many more for sort of, every language and, specific script on here, and also add voice training. And there's one more feature here that's very important, which is, let's say you upload a screenshot. So here's one in Tamil. Andramukkatil Tritsinna Tarnavati. Okay, so what I can do here is transliterate this. It will show up here. And this is from a work published in 1913 by Sabapati Swami, and you can just see it, boom, it plugs this in. Transliteration here, and let's say there's an error. Let's say, one of these words was not right. I think in this case it's mostly pretty accurate, at least, in a second of glancing at it. So, layamavate. So let's say I want to flag this, then I can select it and click flag selection here. And actually submit a correction. And what I can do then is read that correction, submit it, and then it will retrain this model, and so that same error won't come up again. And so, there are more languages on here than any one person could learn in a lifetime, at least most people. And so, if you are a specialist in, one of these other languages, Chinese, Japanese, Arabic, Persian, and so on, and you want to sort of look at it and, add corrections, Tibetan, then what you can do is flag that for me, and what I'll do is loop that back in to make sure that the transliteration is correct as well. And I'll also add flags for the translation so that, if you're using it and you see a translation, hey, this word, doesn't match at all, then I can review that and use it to retrain the translation model as well. So I think that's about all for now. I'm also adding Sandhi features. Classical Tamil uses Sandhi, as Sanskrit uses Sandhi, so sometimes it's helpful to break those apart, and so I'm also perfecting that. You might see some glitches in the meantime. But that's basically, where we are right now with Leapysource. And again, I'm excited to add some new features in the future. You can already use your camera and take a screenshot that way of a text or a page of a book and then crop it, and it will upload this same passage. Again, I'm adding voice, and I hope in the near future as well to create a folder for those of you who are registered or subscribed, a folder that then you can sort of collect PDF files and, use more tokens to transliterate the entire PDF file. So that's something I am currently working on, and let's see how it goes. And so in the meantime, thanks for taking the time to look at this app. I hope that you find it interesting and that you find it useful in your own work. Feel free to send me an email at keith@leapysource.com if you have any questions or want to sort of be in touch about what this app can do. And I look forward to seeing where it goes. That's all for now. Take care.